likely to see a Darius coming here for you narrow, but you gotta keep in mind, Riven can still be flexed to the jungle. You have to be careful of any potential counter picks, and I like this. No more playing to your strengths. We are gonna be playing to what we are good at, and that's TF on Lee Sin.
Bringing back that aggression in the jungle,
Yeah.
that look that worked so well for them in the C Championships. Lee Sin now coming back and doubling down on a strategy that has allowed for them to get a lot more pressure and aggression off, but we've also started to see some of the counterplay available for teams that want to play against that, stuff like the Graves able to shut that down, stuff like the Jacks.
There we go. Like you said, Grandin, I'm so proud of you. You're calling the draft as we go along, and I think that the Graves-Riven combo here, it's going to be a really strong one. The picks individually are really good. Graves is happy to play into Lee Sin, but both of these teams going to be showing their Baron lane, going to be showing their jungle picks off here early, and I want to see what we're going to hold as we drop in the draft. I love this so far from Rolster. Why? Twisted Fate pairs so well with Graves. You give him point and click CC, you give him priority in lane, and together the dynamic duo of Isaac and Doe, they're going to be going to the top lane, helping Rattel out to snowball in this matchup.
What this does mean though is that SBTC get first pick prior towards the bomb side. That Dragon lane is going to be filled in with the Varus first. Could potentially take away something like the Braum as well, something that would pair very well with that Graves.
Yeah, and this Varus pick for Kiro, I think it's a very strong one. I think it's a very effective one.
One of his most played.
One of his most played as well, definitely. And the problem they had yesterday was that he played it into Ziggs. And that matchup is always going to be slightly Ziggs favored. As BTC, they come in with a bit of adaptations today. We're going to get rid of Ziggs. We're going to get the next strongest marksman in Varus. And what is your answer to deal with our bottom lane? Maybe something like a Lucian Nami here that can play both aggressively and defensively. Rolster wide might play out well, but I do like this Galio, still a flex. You hold your mid-sub flex for last pick. Trash being picked against Aquino. That is pretty brave here.
Absolutely. I mean, Aquino has been someone that demands that Thresh ban. Instead, Rolster Y will pick it up themselves. Also going for that misfortune. It kind of feels like they have a lot of good team fighting power around these choke points, but at the same time, SBTC going with that Galio. One of the highest picks in the competition so far. I think it's just one game away from Renekton, which has been the absolute highest pick champion.
Yeah, Renekton has been picked in 7 games, I think, right?
Yeah.
Win
Banded more.
Win rate's not the best, right? Yeah, banned a lot as well. He has a 4-3 win rate, but Galio's also a really highly picked champion. I like the adaptation here. You see your support matchup, you're happy with what you're gonna get. You go for a mid lane counter pick. You say, we take the Diana into the Twisted Fate. If you're trying to push and roam, I'm gonna jump on you. I'm gonna aggress on you. I'm not gonna allow you to do that for free. Overall, I do like what we're seeing from both of these teams. A little bit of different identities here. More 5-5 focus from the side of SBTC, but Rolster Y, a lot of pick potential and a lot of ability to say, you guys can't run into us, because if you do, you're running to smoke screen, you're running to the box, you're running to bullet time. How are you gonna come in?
Before I get into game though, I really want to touch on this a little bit more. This idea of the great filter, the litmus test that is Rolster Y for SBTC. Omar, I know you had some thoughts.
Yeah, I really think that you have to be able to, if you want to be a great team, if you want to be a great civilization, you have to pass the great filter that is Rolster Y. And this is going to be a big test for SBTC here. There is a very good chance, Grandin, that the Chinese teams coming to this tournament are just far and away the best. So with that in mind, is SBTC the next best? Is it Rolster Y? Who's it going to be? A lot of questions are going to be answered in this game.
Well, we're looking to see if we can find out any of those answers for us, as we should be going into the game pretty soon. Yeah. We already have the locked-in final picks, and we're going back to what SBTC have been known for.
Yes.
A comfort pick style composition that's worked well for them in all forms of competition we've seen before. They've decided to put that Galio in the support position, and so it's going to be around to support the team more as opposed to be a playmaker.
Yeah, he does 2 things in the context of this game. One, he gives Aquino a lot of playmaking potential on something that's a bit more straightforward as well, which kind of fits the topic that we've been talking about. Nerves, a very real issue for SBTC here. They're very young players. They're coming to the big stage for the first time. Sure, there may be no audience, but this is their first international event. You want to give them something easy to execute, something that they're familiar with. And I think it doesn't get any better here for SBTC.
Losing against the Chinese region teams, I don't think we have any issue with that whatsoever.
Well,
SBTC,
some issue.
Some issue. But you had a theory. If depending on how this score went, depending on how this game goes and how the score goes, you have a theory on how it's going to play out. We go into the Rift. I'm going to give you a couple seconds to explain that thought.
Well, I think the main thing we want to look out for here is I do want to pay attention to the game from level 1. Because like we talked about yesterday, when you have certain champions with the point-and-click CC, you can't be so effective at level 1. We're not going to see an invade. Both of these teams just going to be jostling for mid-push. And this is something you can expect to see recurring a lot when you see mid-lane champions with roam potential and with heavy wave clear potential. You want to deny the ability of champions like TF, ASO, push and move to level 1.
So no 5-man mid then?
No 5-man mid. We're not gonna be seeing that this game. I don't believe we're gonna be seeing that from any of the good teams here. But with that in mind, though, there are situations where it might be called for. We'll keep that in mind as we go along the tournament, though, and we'll explore that a bit more.
Absolutely brutal. I want to talk a little bit about this Baron Lane matchup first.
Yes.
Because Rattel and Unero coming in, a bit of a change and a bit of a different look for SBTC. For you guys back at home, though, feel free to log in to your Prime Gaming, match that together with your Wildrift account to get a random skin chest. Get some free swag.
I've already done mine.
You've done yours?
Of course.
Have you seen what you got?
No, I haven't opened it, but I've connected and got this all sorted out. You gotta get the free skins, you gotta get the swag.
Absolutely. Get the free stuff. Make sure you get that for yourself.
Yeah.
Let's go back to that point about Rattel and Unero, because Unero now coming in, replacing Minas, is a different look for this team. He's more of a stable player, not so much of a show-offy player.
Look, and you can see just from how the junglers are pathing what both of these teams want to do right from the get-go. Unero is looking to be stable, and that's why the Vietnamese teams value his Darius pickup so much. He doesn't require a lot of resources. He trades well. He's hard to dive. He scales pretty alright. Let him do his own thing, and that fits Unero's identity. He's gonna be stable. He's gonna look to come team fight. He does the job well. Not amazingly, but he can do it. And look at this. This is exactly what Warren wanted. Rolster wanted.
To the top side, Unero's going to get caught out. Has that barrier. Tries to pull someone in, but shit's going to get away.
Yeah, he's going to get away. Has to expand the barrier. But getting away is not the end of the story. Look at the wave. Look at the minimap right now. Look at the top tier 1 turret. Look at how many waves he's going to be missing out on. Look at the gold count on Rattel and Unero. We might not be able to see creep score, but look at that. 1,000 gold deficit from 2 minutes in the game on just the Baron Lane matchup. This is a potentially huge pain point for SBTC.
So they have to put some of that pressure on the other side of the map,
Yes,
play for that cross map, get something going on the other end. TF's going to come down to the Dragon Lane. Fortunately for him, Rolster Wine, great response, going to back off.
You see, you know what the problem here is, Gaminism? When Grandin, I forgot your name change. When you want to dive these lanes, when you want to dive the side lanes, you cannot do it with just your jungler unless you want to trade. If you want to force it to retreat, you need to make sure that your mid can come along, and that's not going to be possible because of the mid matchup.
It is going to be possible for Rolster Y. Isaac has his ultimate, so you could see for a second there, Rolster Y were prepared to play that 3v3. Isaac could have teleported down with the Destiny Engage. So TF's going to go back for now. Not exactly able to find the start that they were hoping for with this aggressive Lee Sin.
Yeah, the Lee Sin, he's not so worried for now. He has a bit of time to play with. You get about a couple of dragon fights to really get something going. Find a nice little king. And you have a lot of targets for that this game. I think that's what TF is going to be very happy with. If you get on MF, you're happy kicking her. TF, same story. So a lot of options for Lee Sin to play with. And I think if you look at this mid-lane matchup, it really encapsulates the nature of what these two champions want to be doing. TF just wants to push. But Diana is trying her best to not let you do so. And I love both supports, bot lanes coming to just relieve pressure. With the time of 2:30 right now, 4 minutes, objective spawn. You have to make sure you get your resets, get your rolls, get your mid fire.
Exactly. Get ready for those first objectives as they spawn up. Julie's actually going to have to base right before these objectives come online. He's going to have to...
But that's the nature of the matchup. Diana cannot push. You're playing for the big fights, but you have to sacrifice something somewhere.
It seems like SBTC want to start playing towards the Reptile first. That's that first one. We've seen how this has changed the meta a lot because you can no longer just have your Baron laner doing his own thing. You kind of have to invest in getting one of them because if the enemy team gets both, you kind of lose too much tempo, especially in that big mid lane.
And I love what we're seeing right now. SBTC, they do not want to trade, and this is great for Julie. He knows that he's not going to be able to make it before the Destiny Gate, so I'll just engage on you.
It's going on to Isaac. They get healed up, flash over the wall. But the gold card follows through, and Julie's going to have to get away.
Look, I thought he was just going to chunk him out and get out. That's why I kept talking, but he just went for the all-in. He went for the dive.
The Honey Fruit kind of just denied that kill there. So unlucky, so unfortunate. Aquino, he's going to lead the charge, but it's actually Rattel that finds the engage. The collateral damage finds first blood for Rolster Y. The party doesn't end just yet. TF's going to come in now. Dead provides the support for Unero. He pops the barrier, but still goes down over to Salem. TF unable to find much more. The heal's going to come in.
Hero
gets one and looking to get out.
Kiro wants to keep this going though. He does a lot of damage right now.
Takes the flash away from Do. The Grace has to back off.
Look at this. I love the play from Julie right now. I love this so very much. He identifies correctly what he needs to be doing in this entire timing window. For the last minute and a half, he did not make a single attempt to come to the team fight at Harrow. He says to his team, you guys are on your own. We're gonna go into X replay and let's take a look at that one. And while this is going on, look at the mini-map as well for 1 whole minute. This is a great start here for the side of Royal. Aquino goes in too early. I think you see some signs and nerves. His team is not ready, they're not in position. You start losing members. One by one, you start to fall. But right now, TF, he's so strong on this team. He does a million damage. Kiro as well with his Varus positioning so safely. Very good stuff from the jungler and marksman on the side of SBTC, but the rest of them, Yunero, Aquino, they need to calm down.
Exactly. So early on, you have that execution damage from the Lee Sin. It gives so much more to these teams trying to find these early skirmishes. But Rolster, despite the fact that those fights haven't exactly gone in their favor, are still ahead in gold right now.
Why did he just use the heroic entrance? I couldn't really tell you. I feel like Aquino just misclicked something. They wanted to go for an engage maybe, and they botched it. Now Aquino gets caught. No flash.
He's going to get a two-man taunt first. Julie's going to be nearby, trying to provide some support, but it's difficult. Rattel's right down in deep there. Coming in with the moonfall onto 3. Yunero cannot follow up. That's the gold card, the stun, the damage laid down on Julie, taking down to Diana. And Rattel's still in the back line. He's making a mess. Yunero, no point crying over spilled milk. That's your Baron Leader gone.
Yeah, once again, the fight starts off with Aquino making a mistake. He slips up, he gets caught out, no flash to get out. And what did we say in the draft? What did we say from picks and bans? SBTC, what do they want to do? They want to run into you, they want to get the team fight going. But Rolster, why? What's that team comp so good at? They're good at catching you off one by one. They're good at peeling back and making you have a hard time engaging on them. That's exactly how the team fight played out. That's something we need to keep in mind as well. Rattel right now, K Gold League. He's untouchable. Look at this. He jumps into Aquino and Julie, and no one wants to spend a single spell on him because they know they can't do anything. Instead, they go for the backline, but no engage potential because you cannot run past the MF spells.
Even with that big moonfall, they just don't have the follow-up.
No
Nothing's
follow-up.
available. If they try to get close enough to assist Julie, they're not going to have enough spells to actually win that fight.
Yeah, and smiles on the coaching staff's faces. They are happy with how this one is going, and they should be as the fight starts again.
Right back on that dragon. It actually sees Isaac fall first. Julie's diving in deep there. Good amount of damage coming across Rattel. A beautiful flash with a wall. Finds a 3-man knock-up. The rest of the damage coming in from Luna as the team starts to run away. SBTC need to back off.
And the story of this game so far has been the Rattel show. Guest starring Do a little bit, guest starring Isaac a little bit. That fight starts off with Isaac halting into a bit of an iffy situation. He gets caught, but it doesn't matter. He baits them to funnel into a choke point, and Rattel cleans house. Rolster, I think they're going to be very happy with how this game is going. 5k gold lead, they're going to pick this one up as well. But SBTC look like they have something to say.
If there's something that these teams from the Southeast Asia region love doing, it's fighting. They're going to engage once again. Aquino's going to go down, the first casualty back in this fight. They don't have the means to keep pushing on for this. Rattel's going to come in now. They get the chance of corruption. It's a good amount of damage, but it's still a Riven so slippery. You don't have the lockdown to finish him off. It's finally Julie that comes in with the kill. TF's going to follow through. The damage for the Sonic Wave Resonating Strike takes down another, but the remaining 2 members of Rolster are barely going to get away.
And look at both of these teams. Blinking red health bars, a sliver of health for so many players on the map right now. But SBTC, I thought they weren't able to kill Rattel, but they finally managed to. TF and Julie, the dual bruiser front line, they're just diving in, making the plays happen. And Kiro, he's the artillery from the background. He's throwing in the arrows. Once again, look at how the fight starts. It starts with Aquino getting caught. This time around, though, they peel back on Rattel very, very well. And I think that turnaround here, catching on to them, hitting the right spells. They did exactly what they needed to. And in this fight, you kind of see the flaws of Trash as a champion as well. If you don't find the picks, what do you really provide?
If it doesn't work the first time, try and try again. SBTC, I feel like they live by that motto.
Oh yeah.
They've been trying to push in onto Rolster, really making them sweat and work for those objectives. And even with these hooks, it doesn't feel like there's much to be gained there. Yunero, his build is what? A dead man's plate and a proto belt. That's all he wants. He wants to jump in, get the upper hand, and he's done.
And I'll be honest with you, given how his early game played out, he lost 1,000 gold at 2 minutes in the game. He had no real choice here. He has to play a tank, and I think it works because when you're playing against catch up, what do you really need? You You need someone to be tanky, run in front of you, face check the bushes, eat the gold card, eat the trash hook. But right now the problem is Luna on this team, Fortune is doing so much poke damage, keeping them at arm's length.
Being able to build space for them with this Misfortune is something that we haven't quite seen in the competition just yet. But it's showing a very good look, and this is the power of Rolster Y appearing on an international stage against a lot of expectations for exactly where they would be in power level.
Yeah, I mean, SBTC, the story for them as well, I think it is the inverse, right? They really need to be showing they can do something a little bit more. Not having Minas, having Unarrow be bullied in both series that they've played so far has proved to be a major pain point for them, and they need to figure out a solution to this. I can tell you right now, Unarrow can never fight this Riven ever again in the rest of the game. That's why they're having Julie do it.
You had a theory, right? The first player to buy Bramble Vest.
There we go. There's nothing anyone can do. No one can stop Rattel.
A lot of damage onto Julie, but like you were mentioning,
yeah,
the first player to buy Bramble Vest kind of loses that matchup.
Yes. In a carry matchup, yeah.
In a carry versus carry matchup, Unarrow,
he's just buying it every game.
Defensive all the time.
All the time, every game, all day. And it's kind of his fault, but it's also kind of not. Because how the teams wanted to play out this game was to split the map. SBTC, they want the bot lane. Rolster Y, they want the top lane, and Unarrow just got punished as a result of that. SBTC weren't able to find any answers on the other side of the map, and as a result, Rolster Y, they're just running away with this game from the Baron lane.
Building up such a lead from the Baron lane, translating that across the map, both Rift rounds have gone over to Rolster Y, and because of that, they've been able to get that first turret. It was down to the Dragon side, which is very interesting.
Bit of a bait.
They get a catch onto Rattel. I'm not sure if they have the means to follow through to take down this Riven, just gets over the wall. I love watching those mechanics.
Look, I'm gonna be honest with you. I hate Riven. This champion, she is so strong. She's a bit too strong right now. She does damage, she's tanky, she's mobile, she has
It's a fun champion.
It's a fun champion to play. It's a fun champion to have on your team. It's definitely no fun to play against, as SBTC are seeing right now. They're trying their best to trade sides. They're trying their best to just focus down Rattel's Rift and send your whole team there. Just don't give him space to work. And I think that this is it's a pretty good game plan from SBTC.
But they have been having some difficulty managing these waves, right? Yeah. Despite the fact that they have decent cash potential, it doesn't match what Rolster Y are doing, whether with the point-and-click CC, with this pick potential that they have. Rolster gets such an easy and free opportunity to play towards these smaller side lanes. SBTC have kind of been letting these waves crash into them.
Yeah, and when you think about how things connect to each other, how the chain of events flows, that's really just because Rattel's been running away with this game. You need so many people to deal with him. He demands so much resources invested to shut him down. As a result, SBTC, they're always one step behind. Here we're likely to see it again. Look at Rattel, look at where he is.
Unarrow comes to engage, but to make it rain is going to take him down the full time, actually. He's going to want to take him down. Rattel once again looks for the flank on the side, but they don't have the damage to finish off this Riven. TF's going to have to flash away, but losing a lot of health in the process. Aquino comes back into here again, just trying to set up Julie for a kill, for anything at this point, but unable to get much more. They finally take down Luna, but it's not going to be enough. They still see Julie fall, and the rest of SBTC routed.
Look, and that was just desperation from SBTC. They recognized they had no space. They were being closed in on from across the entire map. Unarrow took one step too far forward, and what did he say? Rolster Y's team comp, we catch you, we pick you off. They punished him, and Rattel, he once again finds an amazing angle to come into the team fight from SBTC. It looks to me like they're running out of options.
So what now? SBTC, if they can't allow Rolster to get a catch, and then what do they have to do? Run into them?
Play better the next game, I think, is probably what we're looking at this point. It's looking diesel, because I cannot think of a single answer to this Riven. You don't have the DPS. Your carries, it's pretty sad to say. Your carries are Diana and Varus. One who pokes, one who assassinates your backline. Who's gonna kill this tanky, shielding, life-stealing, Riven dashing into your team? You just purely lack the DPS.
And this is why we've seen Riven ban so many of these games.
Oh yeah, please ban her. Please ban her.
In fact, I think this is why we see Renekton show through so much, because Riven has to demand a ban.
Yeah, I think that's really the case here. They chose to ban away the Renekton, and that's something you touched on a little bit as well, right? Rattel's Renekton also deserves a ban. It's something which he played 3-0 in playoffs. Yeah, Riven's gonna double kill them. Not much to really look at here. Whenever Rattel's on his team, just assume he's winning the fight he's in.
He's kind of giving some respect to Unarrow. Not sure where Aquino is, so not looking to fight a 2 versus 1. Especially not while Baron is up. They can just play for that. He has teleport, so at any point he just joined the team fight.
He does have the teleport, and that's something I want to point out as well. He picked that one up so early on, and he didn't suffer because he's so far ahead that his combat stats were never lacking, and here we go.
Engage shows up, Salem gets the primary hook off first. Good fall through from Rolster Y. They take down Aquino, that just kind of opens up the map a little bit more.
Yeah, and I want to come back to the Riven point a bit. I want to talk about Big Bad a bit. It looks to me like this game, Rolster Y, they came in with a statement win in their first game of the tournament. It's not over yet, but I think it's safe to start calling it and start thinking about what we want to do for the next game. To me, I feel like given the stats that we've seen from Ratel's Renekton, P0 has not lost a game in playoffs. It's been banned against him a bunch of time as well. So what are you gonna do? What we said earlier on, you gotta pick the poison. Do you want to give Renekton in the next game, or do you want to give Riven? What's it gonna be?
And it's so difficult to answer because not just Ratel, right? I also feel like Isaac has a lot of character potential in it.
Yeah.
The guy's played stuff like that Irelia before, and he had some insane mechanics. I feel like he went into this game with that mindset to say, if they're going to ban out Ratel, I'm just going to be carry, then I'm okay with that. I would take that.
And you got to keep in mind, in this game as well, Joe on this Graves, he's having an amazing performance. We've been talking about Ratel all game, but if you look at the gold count, Joe's not far behind. Both of them sitting at 13,000 gold, just so far ahead of anyone on the side of SBTC except Julie right now. And it looks to me like for once, SBTC, they find an angle on the map. Okay, they're just gonna back up. They're not looking to set up anything because they cannot set up anything. But I do like the ideas to try to trade sides of the map right now.
But I love the fact that SBTC are not shy to go for a fight, right? You see the TF Ultimate come out right now. The Destiny gives him some information. They look like collapse. Julie's right there. Not able to find a damage. Aquino's building a wall. It's the shield protecting his team. They kick away Ratel. You have no one that can deal with the Riven. Flash throw from Salem gets the pick off. Kiro's gone down. Yunaro's joined in the fight, but it's way too late.
Amazing stuff from Salem. Second time he's done it this game. He buffers the flash hook, and no one sees it coming. He catches out Kiro. He's gonna catch out Yunaro.
He's back onto Yunaro. It doesn't matter if you're tank. It doesn't matter how much HP you have. You're gonna die if Salem gets this death sentence on you. Making it true to its name. That's another pick up on Julie. They're onto the Baron now.
And that's exactly what we talked about. The catch comp, the pick comp from Rolster Y. It's paying dividends right now. Nothing SBTC can do. Their tank, Yunaro, he's too far behind. He can't face check. That's a huge kick.
They have to steal it. So much damage to the Baron. They get the dash away. They're gonna get out. TF, he still has the GA. They stop the Baron. He's gone in to stay safe. Aquino trying to buy his jungler some time, but it's in the Baron pit, and as it resets, he gets over the wall.
Goodness, hero play there from TF. He kicked 4 members of Rolster Y. He kicked them in the line, knocked them all up, cleans up the kill onto Luna as well. This was a highlight play from TF in such a desperate game with their backs against the wall. TF pulls this off on stage. This man clearly is not suffering from any nerves at all. Amazing performance from him. Amazing mechanics from him. But to me, it just feels like it's not enough.
I wonder what you need for that. A mathematics degree or an engineering degree to find and line up those angles?
It's trigonometry.
Trigonometry.
That's the one. I mean, I'm not going to get into it because I failed math. So we're just going to talk about this game, and we're going to talk about the fact that the dragon is up, and this is a big one, Grenda.
Absolutely. TF obviously did not fail math. So we'll see if he's going to be able to make the numbers count. Because despite being 7,000 gold, SBTC don't play that way.
Oh boy, he's
still going aggressively. Gold cards locked and ready. They go in first. Yunaro's come in now. No, this might be the pick off. This might be the fight that they've been looking for. Ratel's gonna flash away. Salem comes back with the death sentence. They're looking to take down Julie, who's gone into station to buy some time. The bullet time is going to wreak havoc among SBTC. They have to kite away, reposition. But Isaac's right by the side waiting. And Salem coming in now. Damage shows up from Luna. A little bit more will take down SBTC, but they just barely get away.
And what do we say about Rolster Y's team composition? It does two things. Either they pick you, or they make it impossible to run into them. And that's exactly what Luna's misfortune did. And it looks like SBTC, they're not done yet.
Julie's coming in with the teleport now. The Elder Drake's going to go down pretty soon. Aquino's not going to be in time to stop this, but that's the first pickup. That's the kill on the Isaac. The second going into stasis. They're looking to take down Ryu, who might be able to get the dragon, but will take your lives instead. Salem's barely gonna get away, but the moonfall comes down. And Ratel looking to try and survive now. Over by the side, Doe gets away as well.
Oh my goodness, and that's a heartbreaker for Julie. He did everything he could. That was a nice fight from him, but unfortunately, they just barely missed out on a few key spells. Weren't able to take down Salem, weren't able to take down Rattel. Those two living, staying alive at the end of this fight means that you would not be able to pick up the Baron. And look at how SBTC, look at how they navigate this team fight. They just completely dodge Rattel. Julie and Kiro both flash over the wall, get away from Rattel, and get onto the opponent's backline, get on the backline of the Y. And this right here, Julie splits his spells up too much. He tries to go for too much. He tries to hit too many people, and in the end, it means that he misses out on 2 kills.
Omo, I'm gonna put this into perspective here. If I'm not mistaken, I think I need someone to fact check me. If I'm not mistaken, this is the first game of the Horizon Cup that's gone past 20 minutes.
Oh. It might honestly be. We were here the whole of yesterday watching the games play out. We saw some very one-sided ones, but this, I think, is the closest one we've seen so far for sure.
All right, just got confirmation. That is
There
in
we
fact
go.
true. The longest game we've seen in
We're
Horizon
setting
Cup so
records
far.
here.
Absolutely. SBTC, they came here to play, and so have Rolster Y.
Yeah.
They have taken control from start to finish, despite SBTC's best attempts to stay aggressive. It's Rolster Y's game for sure so far.
And Rolster Y, to think about the last fight is they might have lost it, but they picked up the Mountain Soul as well. And that's going to be huge because we already talked about how SBTC, they're having issues closing out kills. You're missing out the DPS, you're lacking that little bit of damage. This extra shielding from Rolster Y is going to be a huge headache for the side of SBTC to deal with. And Rolster Y, I think we have to talk about Dole and Rattel. These two guys, between them, have only died once this game and have close to 100% kill participation. Here we go.
You know, I was looking to engage, trying to get caught out of the death sentence, puts them in their place.
Yeah.
SBTC unable to finish off these kills. Aquino has to go storm plate, but loses health way too quickly. Julie goes in, is only able to tap, just barely tap the Moonfall as he falls as well. The third to go down is just down to Kiro. He actually baits out the gold card, but I think Isaac should be able to finish this one off.
The Stack Deck picking up the kill at the end, and TF, he's gonna get chased down. This man tried to do everything he could. In the end, it was not enough. Him and Julie, they tried to force the engage. Narrow tries to force the engage, but it's not enough.
And Rolster Y will take game